Captain? Captain!
We do everything around here. Come along.
After several recent Star Wars shows on Disney Plus were of, let's say, varying quality, still mainly looking at you, Obi Wan Kenobi, a new live-action show hit the streamer and recently concluded. This time aimed at a younger audience. How did this one fare, and is it worth a watch even if you are not a kid? Hi there, it's Micha. Join me for this review if you like to find out. The show starts on planet Et-Etin, a planet hidden away from the rest of the galaxy, where we meet our 4 lead characters. There's Wim, a young boy who is bored with this world's lack of adventures.
Don't you ever want to do anything exciting?
And his best friend Neil, who is a little bit shy and not really looking for said adventures.
As Runa? I like her, but you never even talked to her. I'm working up to it.
Then we have Fern,
Fern, is that you?
Oh, hey Mom, I was just studying in my room.
the daughter of a higher official, a strong girl who takes charge of her life but also dreams of more. And her best friend KB, a smart and tech-savvy girl who uses a cybernetic visor due to her having had an accident at a younger age. While Wim secretly admires the girls for getting to school on hoverbikes, their paths never officially crossed. Until Wim stumbles across a hidden hedge somewhere in the forest and Fern overhears him talking about it.
That doesn't matter because I found something buried in the woods. I think it's a lost Jedi temple like this.
So following him, all 4 soon find themselves at the hedge.
You. Me.
Reluctantly joining forces, trying to open the hatch and to explore its secrets. Once inside though, they realize that this is not a Jedi temple at all, but a spaceship.
Jedi 1 to Jedi 2. I found something amazing. Whatever it is, don't touch it.
But of course curious Wim can't resist. Starting the ship's engine, which then takes off, taking the kids through the cloaking barrier that hides their planet from prying eyes.
They're stars. I didn't know there'd be so many.
But unfortunately, the ship didn't stop there. That way they soon find themselves lost in space, with no idea how to get home. The ship's navigation droid, that soon after wakes up,
What's your name?
There are some who call me SM-33.
is mostly helpful but also has no idea how to get them home, likely due to a little bit of memory loss.
It's Ad-Adin. Where we just were.
Can't say I remember no at-atting.
As this turns out to be a pirate ship, SM-33 brings them to a hidden nearby pirate outpost, where they soon land themselves in prison, where they meet Jot,
I can help you. Get to your ship.
who may or may not be a Jedi. But this is just the beginning of their adventure, in which they meet many different characters of whom they can never be sure if they can trust them or not. This is mostly because no one out there knows the location of Et-Etin. As for them, it is more of a myth.
Now only remembered in children's stories, pirate shanties, and rumors.
A fairy tale and a place of unlimited wealth, and therefore every pirate's biggest dream. Will they find their way home? Check out this series to find out. I actually wanted to do weekly reviews for this series like I did for most Star Wars shows in the past, but soon found myself dragging behind so much during the holidays that it made more sense to wait for the finale and cover the whole season.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Wrong show, but always a good call out. So let's start by saying that this show was an entertaining entry into the franchise that didn't disappoint. And even though it aims more openly at a younger audience, it is also an enjoyable watch for adults. This is notably addressed by some additions throughout the show. Like a character with tentacles resembling something out of a Lovecraft story, aptly named Cthulhups. We also have a cool recurring character being a Shistevanen. Hope I pronounced that one right. a species we first encountered in the original Star Wars in the famous cantina scene. Well, at least in the pre-1997 releases. And while bringing back several species and even a character you may remember from other Star Wars entities, there are also many new ones which are thankfully mostly done by using practical effects.
Watch it. He's trying to cheat you. Mind your business, scum!
And as usual, you can find many cute and cuddly characters in the series that will make solid bank as action figures in the future. Which is a win-win, as we enjoy these additions to the franchise, so no complaints. Story-wise, the premise reminds us of Treasure Island, with one of the pirates' aliases even being Silvo, likely a nod to Long John Silver. So you could call this series Treasure Island in Space, which technically would make this Treasure Planet, which already is a movie coincidentally also owned by the House of Mouse. So at least there will be no copyright issue. Even more fitting is the comparison with which the show was pitched to Disney, being an Amblin Entertainment style coming-of-age story set in the Star Wars universe. So many people rightfully described it as Goonies in space, and that feeling is conveyed throughout most of the series, but never as clearly as in the scene where they find a hidden pirate treasure chamber.
It's so wizard.
It is a more light-hearted show, and even though we have already seen some kid-friendly content in the animated entries into the franchise, it's a novum that we have a live-action show openly leaning into a more kid-orientated approach, instead of watering down the originally more adult-orientated content by sneaking in kid-friendly elements.
I'm so confused.
While recent Star Wars series were often passable at best, some truly riddled with facepalm moments, this one mostly did without these instances. Though in the very last episode there were some plot points that didn't make that much sense, but they didn't ruin the overall integrity. The effects were convincing, the production design strong, and the cast also did a solid job, with the child actors ranging from adequate to impressive, and Jude Law, who visibly had fun with it, proving his talent as was expected.
But you can do it, right? You can do anything.
Of course.
We even got Stefan Urkel, aka Jaleel White, in a small recurring role. The many voice acting parts were filled with seasoned professionals like Fred Tatasciore and Anthony Atamunik, and prominent actors less known for their voice work like Alia Shawkat, Alfred Molina, Stephen Fry, and in the biggest role of this bunch, Nick Frost voicing SM-33 and doing a terrific job with it.
No! That's the emergency hull demolition sequencer. You fool. Never, ever, ever touch that.
Two last observations. First off, Etin is the first planet that truly looks like a futuristic version of Earth. So in the beginning I was wondering if they intended it to actually be Earth, bringing us into the galaxy far, far away. I guess I was wrong, though I am sure the similarity was not coincidental. Therefore I'm still asking myself if there was a meaning behind it that I just didn't get, and maybe people familiar with the books and other franchise properties beyond the movies and TV shows may get. If so and you know more, please share those in the comments. Secondly, as this was a show more aimed at kids and about pirates, I can't believe they didn't bring in Hondo, our favorite space buccaneer, for this one. In this timeline he should still be around and kicking, so I was sure he would make an appearance. Or at least hope he would. And the reason for it is pretty clear, because
Hondo always delivers!
And with that being said, let's get to the rating. I enjoyed this show, and compared to recent Star Wars outings, it delivered better and on a more consistent level. It is pretty good, though I wasn't jumping up and down either or stayed up late to catch each episode as early as possible, but I was looking forward to each new chapter. I think the end was a little bit too sudden, but maybe that was needed to set up a potential second season. But other than that, and the few weaker plot point moments in the finale, there was nothing to complain about. I'm going with 7.5 out of 10 points for this one, as it was a good show and came close to being a great one. For sure it was the best franchise entry since the earlier Mandalorian seasons. What about you? Did you like the show even though it was catering to a younger audience? Was the more light-hearted approach working for you, or did it not feel like Star Wars to you? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share or subscribe. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching. After several Star Wars shows on Disney Plus were of, let's say, varying, but soon found myself dragging behind, never as clearly as in the scene where they find a hidden pirate treasure chamber.